Jedi News. Hey, James.
Hey, thank you very much for taking the time to do this, especially as you're on paternity leave. So big thanks.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, no problem. Love doing it.
So the new Anton Merrick XWing looks absolutely fab. Is there any refinements to this particular sculpt, or is it just a straight repaint? And is this the new way forward that we're going to get vintage vehicles with figures?
Yeah, no, two good questions. In terms of the first one, there isn't any new tooling on this one. Our designer describes it as a deluxe repaint. So it's certainly, and it looks, we agree that it looks great. We're happy to hear that you do as well. It does have updated cockpit labels as well. So some refinements in that area. But yeah, no new tooling. In terms of the figure, we'll see. Again, kind of, can't comment on any future releases, but it was definitely something we did deliberately. For this one. It wasn't just something that kind of fortunately got thrown in there. We do kind of acknowledge the importance of getting those figures that interact with vehicles into them. And also the importance, I think kind of you've seen a shift over the past few years of us moving more towards those carded figures in all cases. Not so much of the special action figure sets in some cases, but getting carded figures out there because we just recognize the value and importance of that. And so I think that is a general trend that could continue in the future.
So next up is the vintage collection gaming grades, which do look absolutely great. They're all on Star Wars cards, and there's been a lot of talk in the community about they look completely wrong on Star Wars cards. And I appreciate that Disney is saying one thing, and I know that you've used expanded universe cards before, and you're not allowed necessarily to go down that line. But they just don't look right. I mean, they would look better with the Games logo, maybe with Star Wars around the outside, but the Games logo in the middle. Is there anything that can be done? Because they're not 1977, 78 figures. And they just...
Yeah, no, it's something we had a lot of conversations about. And obviously, I believe Dr. Afra was the same way a few years ago. Basically, it's again, kind of this balance. We talk about balance a lot, balance in the Force. But, and I think you see the same thing in the new Black Series line look with the striping by Entertainment. Our new gaming greats kind of have that single stripe for gaming figures. And so the desire here was to not kind of go down a rabbit hole of having kind of new logos for every single gaming entertainment, since there's just a lot of them and we want to, eventually bring a lot of them into the line. It's a good point about kind of a gaming logo. We thought that would be a bit, a bit generic and just didn't have any kind of, history or equity within the Star Wars world, in the same way that Expanded Universe obviously had a lot of just history and it was very known. And so kind of it made sense. So it's something we had a lot of conversation about. There kind of wasn't the perfect solution. This is the one we landed on. But, as always, we appreciate the feedback and it's something we could certainly impact in the future if it makes sense.
I mean, now with the advent or the re-advent of Lucasfilm Games, it might even be nice to have, Star Wars and then Lucasfilm Games in the middle, just so that it ties it together a bit better.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. Yeah.
The Marvel 6-inch line is getting lots of new Pinless Joints, which look really exciting. A lot of that was shown off during the Fan Fest on Friday. So will we see those coming to the Black Series, maybe even the Vintage Collection, in the same way that Photo Real Deco has gone over to Marvel and stuff?
Yeah, so in terms of the Black Series, we are actually doing a version of Pinless Joints kind of moving forward. So a lot of our new figures that we've been revealing are Pinless Joints. They're slightly different than the Marvel ones. They're kind of like our version of it, but they are taking inspiration from that. So we're always trying to improve our characters, improve how clean they look from like the outside, make sure that they look as accurate to the entertainment as possible while not like drawing too much attention to the fact that they are action figures. So that is something that we are looking to do moving forward on pretty much every new figure is going that kind of pinless joint route. And it's kind of figure by figure basis on like what innovations we do, because sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it doesn't, just because of the design of the certain figures.
And Vintage Collection as well, or just Black Series?
Vintage Collection is also trying to, once again, innovate in any way that they can and try to get those really clean joints and stuff. So our sculptors for both vintage and black series, they work very closely together. So a lot of times they will share innovation between each other, and same with the designers. Like if we find something, we will share it with them. And once again, it's just a matter of what makes sense for the figure in terms of like just the feasibility of it. But absolutely, if it's something that they can update, it's being updated on the vintage as well.
The speciality waves are normally not brought out in such huge quantity for obvious reasons.
Yep.
But the Emperor's Royal Guard, I think, is going to be a huge exception to that. So how will you ensure that supply meets demand for this figure?
Yep. Yeah, no, you're right. The specialty waves are intended for newer fans, but we certainly acknowledge that some existing collectors kind of want to get their hands on those as well. That's why they're all available as solids. They're not just kind of tied into a case pack assortment. So we're able to customize demand for different figures in that way. Certainly, again, pre-order, we discussed this earlier, pre-order gives us a sense of demand and then allows us to forecast down the line. And so, we can certainly adjust and make adjustments based on what we see there. And again, customize demand per figure. James?
My last question was answered, so I'm going to throw this one at you. Last couple of years at Toy Fair, we've got a brand new wave of retro figures. Obviously, we haven't had Toy Fair this year. Will we be seeing a new announcement for retro figures for 2021, or is the line dead?
The line is definitely not dead. I think basically what happened is we announced our 2021 retro wave last year during Mando Mondays, because it was obviously Mandalorian and we had Mando Mondays. The line is definitely not dead. We're excited for it to continue in the future. And so, stay tuned in coming months, however many months that might be, because there's more to come for retro.
Awesome. Thank you.
We're gonna close it out. We've got another set of interviews to go to, but just a big thank you to you guys. We've said it before. This is truly a pleasure for us. We love talking shop with you guys. I know it's crazy times for some of you. Matt, I don't know if it's early in the morning or late in the night for you. I think you're in Australia. All right. But just thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it, and we look forward to the next time we get together and talk Star Wars.
Cheers. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.